podcast you might want to listen to. And don't forget to go to our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company, as well as Tape Armor. And visit our website, bjjshow.com. We're going to condense it down a little bit to make life easier for people. I think that's probably a smart idea. We got all of our old episodes and some T-shirts left. So I'm Rob.
I'm Devon.
And, man, it's been like a couple weeks since we've recorded. You and I have, at least.
Partially, I'm going to let everyone know it has definitely been a big chunk from me, mainly just because crazy shit happens. So I don't want anyone to think that Rob is not all about this shit. A lot of the time, it is the other people who are the co-hosts, mainly me, who just get caught up and are like, oh, fuck.
Well,
I left Rob on Facebook.
No, it's all good. Well, I mean, we have lives. That's the thing. We don't do this full time. So I think that's, for the amount we put out, I think we do a really fucking good job for at least getting something out once a week now, since I don't know why everything's picking up so much, man. It's just craziness.
It is ridiculous, right?
Yeah. So training going well. You've been back in the gym kicking some ass.
Yeah, man, I'm actually in good shape now. I don't know what happened. Like I thought I was in decent shape, and apparently I just hadn't trained enough for an extended period of time. And now I'm feeling like I used to. Now I'm feeling like I'm 22 instead of 27.
Fucking fountain of youth is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something. How about just exercise? We'll just go with exercise. How about that? Real hard.
That's pretty much what it is, right?
Like exercise is the fountain of youth. And we've been out here.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, you know what it was too? My brother, because he's enlisting in the Navy pretty soon,
Oh,
and he
nice.
wants to be like a SEAL and all that stuff. So he's swimming like just miles on miles on miles and running and stuff like that. My whole life I've been in better shape than him, and now inside the gym he's in better shape than me. So like I feel like a lazy ass, and like I'm not in bad shape. He's just in really good shape. So it's like I'm trying to catch up to him now. So it's like motivating me a little bit more.
Damn. Well, that's still pretty good. He's going to go in the Navy. I don't know if the Navy does like combatives or anything, but he's going to fuck people up.
Oh yeah,
That's
oh yeah.
awesome.
Fucking people up in the gym already. So it's like over there, it's gonna be like ragdolling motherfuckers.
Oh, it's the coolest thing ever because you get like, we have the military martial arts like training program, like the Marines have theirs, the Army has theirs. I don't know about the Navy or the Air Force, but so like going through basic, I was a white belt. I was like a decent white belt, and they're like, oh well, I'm so and so, like I have this qualification. I'm certified combatives or whatever. I'm like that, thumbs up. That's real cool. Let's roll then. And then it's just funny because we train as a hobby what you get paid to get certified in the military. So I think that's just kind of fun. So
I
like
know, right?
if you,
And
oh
almost not as much of a foundation.
yeah, exactly, man. But things out here have been getting crazier. I actually have to. For the first time, I actually had to talk to the base, like kind of like the management, and be like, probably need another mat out here, so I need to like open up even more mats. Yeah, we had about 16 people at class last Monday, and half of them were women, and not like
Dang.
we're just checking it out. It was like our like people who come consistently. So it's getting big, man.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
That says a lot because a lot of gyms can't retain women at all. And the fact that you have that many is like, and I'm not trying to be like stupid or bias anyone, but that's like a big deal if you guys don't have your own gym. The fact that you can retain that many women is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
well, I try to do the whole like jujitsu for everybody thing, and you know, I know some people are going to show up and they're like, I want to learn it for self defense, or I want to learn it for exercise, or even some of them might want to compete, and if they do, that's great. If not, that's cool too. But as long as we keep it a place for people to learn, and then hopefully get something out of it, that's going to be successful. And I mean, for success, I'm not getting paid to do it. I'm just volunteering. But the fact that people now have a place to train on base, and it's like it seems to be growing pretty well. I mean, that's
I
good.
don't know how tight knit that community is, but like, do you feel like that fight promoted your name a lot more too? Just the fact that you were in there, or
Um,
no?
maybe not. Like honestly, it's
Hmm.
just if I have enough people show up, people will show up to the class, or they'll see the class because we're attached to like the functional fitness area of the gym, and they'll be like, "I didn't know what you guys were doing or this in here." I'm like, yeah, I teach a jujitsu class, so um, nothing has been spread around the base about my fight really, which is
I
okay.
see, I see.
But people in my unit, I think it might have started, people talking about that because I've had people from my unit now come in and start taking my classes. So I think it did, it didn't. So it's not like I'm walking down the strip and they're like, "Oh shit, it's Rob! Oh my god!" Like, it's like,
Look at that fucking belt he's wearing.
yeah, I wish I could wear it. I joked about it. I was like, I'm just gonna wear this for a straight week. And I did, home, sat down, played Star Wars Battlefront in my fucking title belt, drinking coffee. It's like, this
I
is
know,
cool.
right?
Is this what Tim Sylvia felt like?
Oh.
Fucking wear it everywhere. Actually, if I ever got a UFC belt, I would be worse than Tim Sylvia. I'd be like, I would wear it everywhere. Like, doctor's appointment. Let me get the belt real quick. It's like, just throw that shit.
I guarantee Tim Sylvia still wears his belt on his breaks at Home Depot.
I bet.
That was a joke, everybody. He don't really work at Home Depot, but
you never know.
People probably took us serious.
He's probably listening like, fuck Devon. Like, just run, man. Just run. No, I mean, thinking about it, if you look at some of the Olympic athletes, I always go back to Herb Perez, one of the Taekwondo guys. His job was he worked at Home Depot too, but he's like an Olympic gold medalist in Taekwondo. So that's just kind of...
That's crazy. And it's not a knock on working at Home Depot at all, but just the fact that you were a professional athlete and a world champion to do anything other than compete in athletics is insane, right?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of like a testament to him because it's hard enough to train consistently with a full-time job. But then when you train the Olympic level and you have a full-time job, that's nuts, dude.
It's like, when do you even sleep?
I don't think he does. I think he's a robot.
Holy shit. He has to be.
He has to. Yeah.
Seriously.
There's no other way around it. The dude has to be a fucking robot in order to get all that time in. Or he might be like one of those guys that they figured out the way to do. Was it somebody was talking about breaking down sleep? So you sleep twice a day, and instead of it being a straight 8 hours, you do 2 or 3 hours, and then you get the same effects, but it's it's spread out throughout the day. So you gain 3 extra hours of work during the day.
I tried that before. It's really hard. It's honestly harder than almost not sleeping.
Holy shit.
For me, it was. It's probably different for everybody. For me, it was pretty hard.
I probably would fucking quit because sleep's my thing, man. If I don't get enough sleep,
Yeah.
I get fucking agitated, dude. Real fucking bad. But because somebody was asking, actually, speaking of promotional stuff, I did an interview yesterday for AFN out here. That's the Armed Forces Network.
Oh, nice.
And the guy asked, well, when you're in basic training, what was the hardest part of basic training? I thought back to it, and I was like, rocking, running. I was like, no. The one part that sticks out in my mind was we're laying in bed, and I'm like, I'm happy. I don't know why I'm such a dork about this shit, but it was we marching to get our shots and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'm in the Army. I'm in uniform. We're singing cadence and all that shit. We could be doing that 17 hours a day, and I'd be fine with it. But when I was asleep, I remember it was 2:33 a.m. The drill sergeant comes in and wakes everybody up and makes us do push-ups. And then it kind of hit me. I'm like, this shit sucks. This shit sucks really bad. He just fucked with my sleep. I had and because he made you do push-ups then because you're like, fuck, now my heart's pumping. I can't just fall back asleep. And it's one of those you wake up 5 minutes before your alarm goes off and you're like, fuck, I could have used those 5 minutes of sleep. In the grand scheme, it means nothing, but it's those 5 minutes are so precious. But now he took away an extra hour and a half of sleep. And, I was so pissed. I was like, this shit is stupid. So don't fuck with my sleep. That's pretty much don't fuck with my sleep.
That is a terrible feeling, sleep deprivation, when you have to do it. When you want to stay up late, you don't even care. You're just like, all right, I can do this. But when you actually are tired enough to fall asleep and you can't, because you got shit to do, that is fucking terrible.
Yeah, and they say if you stay up for 24 hours straight, your mind operates like it's at a 0.08 blood alcohol level as it is. Not stumbling around, but you will your reaction time, your motor skills are that of being at a 0.08.
Dude, that's legitimate too because like, and I don't go out of my way to do this, but like I do like marathons of like work where I'm like doing stuff for like I stay up and I shouldn't. It's terrible for me for days like a day straight all the time, and like it's legitimately the truth. Like I won't go drive or do anything because I notice that like even walking to the fridge or walking to the kitchen to get a cup of coffee or to eat lunch or something like that, like you even see like little tracers out the corner of your eye where like a shadow, you might think it's a fly, or you like turn and be like, who's right next to me? You know, and you think someone's walking down the hall, or it's the weirdest thing in the world. It's very, very odd.
You get like real jumpy too. Like loud noises like fuck with me when I'm super sleep deprived. I'm just like, oh, somebody dropped a plate. Like, no, they just closed the cabinet. Like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the loud. It's like just things like worst case scenarios. I was like, somebody slammed the door. Oh, that means like the bookcase fell over. Like I remember thinking that once. Like, why the fuck would the bookcase fall over? It makes no goddamn
That's
sense.
hella true.
But
That's
sleep
hella,
sense.
it's
It
hella
makes
funny.
perfect sleep sense. Like,
That's hell true. Nobody that's able to stay up for like that much. Like that's like a perfect description of something that might happen inside of your head.
but I can't think of any time of like exercised or really trained recently being like super sleep deprived. Like I kind of am curious now. I kind of like want to run like my own little experiment, like stay up through Friday night and then go do boxing class the next morning. Just like roll right into boxing class and see how I do. Just like, completely fucking miss everything, fall on the ground. Like,
Dude, have you ever been so tired that when you lay down, it's hard for you to fall asleep because your heart's beating so fast, like you're that excited about trying to sleep? Have you ever done, or like, have you ever been there before?
I can't say I have. I can't say I've had that experience with sleep. Where you're just like,
There's just too much
just get
caffeine.
straight up, like just aroused at how much sleep you're gonna get. Like just getting in bed, you're like, oh, this is gonna be fucking amazing. I mean, there are times
Just
after.
pitching tents while you're
Oh
sleeping.
yeah, well, I mean, it happens anyways, but
Yeah.
like, I know after like some real good training sessions, like especially getting up for this fight or getting ready for this fight, I would get in bed and just lay down on my back, like pull the covers up, and I wouldn't move like that. Like I wouldn't move for the whole night. I'd like kind of wake up in the same position, and that was probably like the most boner-inducing sleep I've ever had.
God damn! If I fall asleep on my back and I don't move, I'm knocked the fuck
Yeah,
out because
exactly.
I never sleep on my back.
You're just so tired. You just get on your back, pull the sheets up, close my eyes, wake up. I'm like, oh man, that felt so fucking good because just no muscles were used during the night. It was just like the most conservation of energy you could achieve while sleeping. Like you do nothing.
When I was 22, or like yeah, 20, I don't know, 2012 sometime. Me and my dad went to San Francisco and we went in those sensory deprivation chambers, like pretty much flotation tanks, right?
Yeah.
And this was like before they got like super popular, but in the Bay Area, people are wacky out there, so they had all kinds of places to do it, right? So me and my dad, we go, and I was in one for 2.5 hours, and I think I was sleeping for about an hour of it. But they tell you that you go in and out. You won't really be able to tell. But physically, your body falls asleep, but your brain is kind of like awake, and it goes in and out of patches of pretty much dreaming, right? And it's really surreal. But when I got out of there, dude, it was like the craziest feeling in the world. Like I could have legitimately fell asleep, or I could have went and like rolled like 15 rounds, like because your
Really?
muscles are just they weren't used. You know what I mean? You're just floating in this warm pool of Epsom salt, like naked, and you're just there and you don't feel anything, and your muscles are just completely relaxed. It's like, my God, it was probably the most relaxing yet like refreshing thing I've like ever done in my life physically.
Mm. I've heard good things about deprivation chambers like that, especially to help recover from training and stuff like that. For that and cryotherapy, I'm kind of scared to either jump in the cryo chamber or jump in the giant garbage can full of ice water. Especially, like I'm the hugest bitch when it comes to cold stuff, but they say like after good training that it's good for the muscles or something. So I need to look into it because I'm getting a little more sore recently than than I'd like to after a good roll.
Have you done ice bath before?
I've never done an ice bath.
I like the ice baths. I've never done the cryo. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of scared to do cryo because I don't know why, but like, I'm a bitch and I got really sensitive skin. I feel like I'll fucking get like burning. I'll burn my skin. I feel like I don't know why, but I've done ice baths before and they work great for me.
Well, what is the premise of a cryotherapy chamber? Is they spray you with like a liquefied form of liquid nitrogen or something like a watered down version of liquid nitrogen or something like that. And I can't help but think of either like the scene from Saw. I don't know which Saw it was. Just take your fucking pick. It's probably one of them. Where like this guy could save this girl, but she's getting constantly blasted with like water in this really like this meat locker freezer, so it's starts freezing her body. I think of that, or I think of like the Terminator from Terminator 2 just freezing in place. So I think that might also scare the shit out of me. Like that's why, because it's in my mind that's what a cryo chamber is like. But but people walk out of them all the time and say they're amazing. So obviously they're not fucking frozen to death.
Yeah, I mean it's really really fucking cold. So like here's a little me geeking out on everybody a little bit. So you got something in the middle of the nucleus of your cells, correct? It's called MPK. It labels MPK. It's called muscle pyruvate kinase, and it regulates the amount of energy your cells put out. The way it's regulated is by temperature. If it gets too hot, like when we get sick, it stops putting out energy, and that's why we feel weak when we have the flu because we have a high temperature and we don't want to move and everything like that. Well, if it gets too cold, you also don't put out energy. But what happens when it gets cold is that it almost restarts the cell, and when it does cool back down or it heats back up, I mean, to like body temperature, you have more energy than you did before, and your metabolism's a lot faster, so it speeds up your recovery. So that's kind of like how it does. But what I'm thinking in my head is like, why do I got to go in something that cold when I just jump in the ice bath if I want to? Because I always wonder what is the difference. Is like, since it's that much cooler, I'm just going to recover that much quicker because I know it doesn't take that. Your temperature doesn't got to be super low to really, fuck with that part of the nucleus of the cell. So I've always been curious about it. I wonder what the benefits are because I'm no specialist in that stuff. I just know what I know in depthly as far as fundamentals of biology. But I am curious about that.
No, I mean, well, you've already got like a really good working knowledge of it, so you're way better than me. It's like it's cold, it should help, right? Like I figured it'd just be like an ice pack, but it's more. So
It'd be a really interesting person to have on the show if we found somebody that, does that for a living or works in like a place like that.
yeah, I'd love to have somebody like that on the show, and hopefully they're listening and they want to be on the show. But you ready for some nightmare fuel? Since
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you're gonna go to bed at some point. I looked it up while you were talking for cryo chamber deaths, just to kind of,
Oh,
yeah. Salon manager 24 froze to death in cryo chamber after she got trapped inside for 10 hours and temperatures plummeted to minus 240 degrees Fahrenheit. So pretty much, like scanning the article, it says she went in there, accidentally got locked inside the machine because it was still on, and because she was the only one left because she was closing up, and was in there for 10 hours and froze to death. Probably to the point where it was like you pick up the body and it shatters, froze to death.
holy crap.
That's fucking nuts, dude. Like that scares the fuck out of me. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if I go in there? I need like at least 5 people watching. Like, I need at least a good 5 people in
Yeah.
the same room as me. One of them maybe with a set of bolt cutters. I don't know what the cryo chamber looks like, so I'll feel comfortable.
That is crazy. You know what? And I'm not saying this. This is something I legitimately think about. Imagine, number one, it's kind of like it sucks you're dead. But number two, it's like you died in like a really, really freaky way. Like you pretty much got like died in a freezer.
Yeah.
Another thing that sucks is you're probably naked or in your underwear. Like you're not going to be looking too proud, when they're looking at your dead body in, the lower regions. Like that's like another shitty part too. Like
Oh yeah.
that just,
As a dude, you're gonna be
dude, that'd
cold
be
as
terrible.
fuck. That's awful.
Like it's the worst death in the world, dude.
Like the fucking coroner's coming like, this poor soul, look at him. Froze to death and everything shrank. Hell of a way to die.
It'd be fucking terrible.
He's like, he was so cold it's inside his body now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm going to hell for this shit. But so, all right, let's move on to something that doesn't involve me going to hell or both of us going to hell for laughing at somebody's junk shrinking back inside their body from liquid nitrogen exposure. But so Flow Grappling, even through all their problems with streaming and striking down YouTube videos of people wanting to show their grandmas their IBJJF films, is kind of like the WikiLeaks now of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. And Damon from Gogo Pata tagged me in this. I'd seen it earlier, but it was like, no shit, I read it, and then like 3 minutes later I get a Twitter notification that he tagged me in this. But it turns out that Huron and Henner Gracie issued a statement of caution about their brother Halleck. I don't know if you heard about this.
My brother was telling me about this, but I didn't really get too in depth with him.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll just read the excerpt. Pretty much they sent it out to all the Gracie training centers or something. And it said, although we have always agreed with the Metamoris business, or we haven't always agreed with the Metamoris business practices, we never felt it was our place to publicly express our concerns with the operation until now. In a leaked email seen by Flow Grappling, Huron and Henner issued a statement distancing themselves from their younger brother's business practices following his increasingly controversial handling of the professional jiu-jitsu event Metamoris. I'm trying to find one. It was kind of like shady business dealings or something like that. But pretty much, Halleck, this is what they said. Halleck has engaged in dishonest and fraudulent activity and continues to do so despite our repeated efforts to guide him, the email reads. We have decided to terminate all business relations with Halleck and Metamoris. So Huron and Henner pretty much kicked his ass to the curb, man. That's you know you fucked up, man. He's kind of like getting exiled by the kind of like the Gracie community that out there. But this goes back to
This
like,
is a
yeah, he's fucked up so many times that they're just like,
yeah.
fucking knock it off.
This is a perfect example of like, okay, like so he's obviously like done this consistently, and like the second, the third, however many times it's been now where he's fucked up, whether we've known about it or not.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of like, don't keep doing the same shit over and over and over thinking it's gonna work, you know, because that kind of looks like that's what's going on in his head. Like, no, I can make it work. I can make it work. And he's just fucking up, and he's like dragging other people down with him because he's not paying them and all this other shit, right? But it's another perfect example of just because you have enough money does not, and because you are involved in something does not mean that you can go fucking put on an event or build something like that. Like, I can't stand that when people take other people's money, because I know he's got money and he makes it, but
Yeah.
there were investors. I can't stand people. You take other people's money, you don't pay other people, and you just fuck it up because you have a name and people are giving you validity just with that alone. Like, the kind of shit bothers me.
Yeah, the premise is good. Like, the premise is really good. And it's been, it's been duplicated kind of, because Metamoris started it, but it started to get a little ridiculous too. Like, I remember the last one we watched. It was, who was in it? It was the one where they did that Keenan Cornelius online seminar, and I had some of the guys from the gym over, and we're sitting there watching it. He goes through a really cool move, but then they fucking show them drilling the move. Like, it's just like a straight up set. Like, all I'm doing is I'm watching a seminar. And it was like, he showed the move. I'm like, oh, cool, the move. That's great. And then they went into just like, I'm sitting on the sidelines watching these people drill the move. And just, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, are we really wasting this much time? And then, from what I can tell, what was it, the TV show or whatever, the web series that they wanted to do, where they took like an additional 20 minutes out of the last Metamoris that AJ Argazam streamed for free on his Facebook. That was just like it was just like them this like, I don't know, fucking pretentious art piece where nobody knew what the fuck was going on until he like goes to Chris Howder's gym and starts training jiu-jitsu. Like this is the shittiest lead up to anything. Just start at the gym so we kind of know what's going on. Just I guess maybe it. I get fuck. I don't even know where I'm going with this. It's just I feel like they just fucked it up. Like it was a good thing.
That's how bad it was. You're like trying to grab onto all the different parts of it, and it's literally just too much random shit for you to even make sense of it.
Yeah, and what I liked was the format where they're like they did a video on the person. The videos were great. That's actually how I started liking Keenan Cornelius. Was because I thought he came off of like a douchebag, but when he did that video with him, on the beach with a metal detector going over the woman's ass, and the detector goes off, and he gives like this weird look and keeps walking. Then he finds his third place medal in the sand and throws it in the garbage. I thought that was pretty funny, but but now, like I said, it's just like I don't know. They're just wasting time for time's sake and just a whole shitload of problems. But hopefully, either it ends and somebody buys it out, and the big jiu-jitsu show kind of takes it over. But
Right.
I mean, we probably could buy it for real cheap. Actually, I think maybe Halleck's Investor could give us money to take it because we'll make them money.
I was legitimately going to say that, Halleck, if you want two dudes who are already involved in the community and people that have experience as far as content producing on large levels, me and Rob both have our strengths. I understand business. I understand video. Rob has built this podcast up. Rob could speak. We're both commentators. We both understand jiu-jitsu. Rob's fought. We both understand every dynamic of what it would take to actually make Metamoris. And I don't think you have the team behind you. I think you have a bunch of jiu-jitsu people who are just good at jiu-jitsu, trying to help you build this shit up and asking people for money. People are giving it to you and it's not working. So hit me and Rob up. We'll help you out.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
I'll help him out. I'd help him out.
Yeah, definitely help him out. I'm still kind of torn by that whole thing where he puts well, we're not here to pay debts. Like, yes, motherfucker, you are.
No, fuck yeah.
Or maybe we'll be like, look, you want people to like you? First off, pay everybody you owe. Okay? What's funny is people owe you money, but yet you won't pay other people money. So, yeah, that was the first thing I do. This is how I think we could solve Metamoris. Let's brainstorm this shit real quick, right? First off, we need an investor. Okay? We need a good investor. Maybe the guy that was just give Halleck money, these guys might do it, right? We have to pay off everybody that is owed money, right? Second of all, Metamoris Challenger, get rid of it. That's what I'm saying. You're putting in too much money to a bunch of small tournaments to look for people. Guess what? There's a whole bunch of places you can find people that might be good for Metamoris, fucking jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Yeah.
I doubt... Yes, the UFC did The Ultimate Fighter, but the UFC also has shitloads of money from pay-per-view. Right? Screw the Metamoris grappling. It's going to be cheaper for you to fly to the Seoul Open in South Korea than it is to hold the Metamoris Challenger in South Korea. That's what I'm saying. Commentating, Jeff Glover does a good job. Kenny Foran does a good job.
Yeah.
I think we're more entertaining because I'm biased and we're cool as fuck.
But, yeah, we're cool as fuck. No knock to them, but we're just cooler.
Yeah, we're just cool fucking people. And then I know you love Mackenzie Dern, but we got to get rid of her too.
Yeah, we do have to get rid of her. I'm sorry, Mackenzie. I'm sorry, baby girl. It's got to go, though. You got to go.
Work on the interviewing skills later.
For real. Seriously, this is what they should do. Okay, so you have Jiu-Jitsu's big in Southern California. Jiu-Jitsu's big in Northern California. Southern California, you have Silicon Beach. All the tech startups are there. Northern California, you have Silicon Valley. All the tech startups are there. You don't know how many people I know in the Bay Area that I do jiu-jitsu with who are knowledgeable people as far as jiu-jitsu goes that are also project managers, directors of operations, product managers, people that really know how to organize shit. And I mean, even further than that, you know what I mean? And I'm sure it's the same way down south. A bunch of business people, tech people, whatever, are involved in jiu-jitsu as well. Get some of those people. Those are the perfect people. Those are people that have a passion for it anyway. They would be willing to do it. You get some of those people, it doesn't even matter who they were, honestly. You save Metamoris right there. Not only will you pay your debt off, but all these other jiu-jitsu players that are fighting will actually make some money.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you had an acai bowl truck, so you get the acai fanboys. They're like, oh, this is what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tastes like. And then you get a beer truck, right? So you get
Fuck
the
yeah.
other side of the fanboys, those of us who like to party and watch Jiu-Jitsu. And then, to help appease the Gracies, you get the Gracie diet truck. You want them to eat bananas and
Woo!
watermelon or whatever the Gracie diet is. So you get like all three, right? And then you're good.
Dude, seriously, combine them all. Have a smoothie truck in the middle, put the acai, the bananas, and the beer all in one. Maybe a shot of tequila or something. I don't know. Mix it up. Have a smoothie of all. It's like the United Nations of diets and jiu-jitsu.
Yep. And just have an ambassador from each. Like, there's so many different ways you can do it. I mean, it's funny because I've seen better, like, not production value. Like, I think one of them that really fucked them really hard was when they did that one Metamoris. I think it was the one we watched where it wasn't in a stadium. It was like, I don't know, some warehouse area with
Oh,
no
yeah, that's
public
right.
seating. That was it. It was just like 2 rows of seats that people could watch. The rest of it was online. I'm like, that's
The
stupid.
secret location, like,
You mean the fucking warehouse you rented for $100 that day?
yeah, right. It's like you found that shit on Airbnb, looked for something that had brick walls, and fucking put some mats in there.
Contact the landlord. Hey, I know this is your house, but can we hold a professional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fucking match and event in your house? Is that cool? Like, we have insurance, not really, and we'll pay you after the event, right? Is that cool too? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it went down.
Dude, it's funny because even watching that thing, it's like you not only were the parts of it pretty random, but just the whole feel of it. You're almost like, what were they going for? Like, were they trying to model a UFC fight? No. Were they trying to like? It was just so weird. The last couple of them, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty weird, but man. But I think we solved the problem. I think we solved the Metamoris problem, though. You and I did.
I think so too. If you guys are listening to this, pay me and Rob some royalties if you do decide to do it another one, and if you make some money.
That's
I'm just
right.
saying.
Well, with that, Devin, I'm going to call it a day. So before we head out, do you have anything you want to say to our loyal listeners?
Guys, shout out to Mackenzie Dern. Shout out to you for winning your fight with that crazy submission. I didn't watch it, the replay or anything like that, but I saw the memes and it looked pretty disgusting. Also, guys, follow me on everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube. Everything is I Am Symphony. I also have no more vlogs, but they are going to be called life books. So it's the same thing, but they are going to be on Facebook and YouTube. I'm taking over Facebook now because Facebook's going to take over the world, so why wouldn't I? So the first one's premiering either tonight or tomorrow morning. I don't know. Just go follow I Am Symphony and you guys will see it.
Nice. My favorite thing to watch while I'm supposed to be working. But and ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to go to damn, man, my brain, what the hell? I am seriously having I get a concussion last night at class. I don't know. But hey, look, we're the Big Jiu-Jitsu Podcast. Remember, the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com and find some other podcasts you want to listen to. Check out our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company, as well as Tape Armor. And don't forget to go to bjjshow.com and find some old episodes to listen to. I'm Rob.
I'm Devin.
We'll see you guys next time.